there have been evacuation orders for Jasper, Little Red River Cree Nation, Chippewa Lake, Janvier 194, and the northeast portion of Ghost Public Land Use Zone due to wildfire. All but one of these evacuation orders and area closures have been lifted. Jasper is the one remaining evacuation order, and the incident management team is making progress every day on mitigating hazards in the community and preparing for reentry when it is indeed safe to do so. While the threat of wildfire is not over, and it is still too early to say the wildfire is no longer a danger to the community, however, confidence is growing. The Alberta Emergency Management Agency is focused on working with the municipality of Jasper and Parks Canada to support the reentry planning. The focus right now is on resuming critical services, so everything is ready to support the return of the broader population. The municipality of Jasper is still striving to provide daily updates online about the steps being taken to contain the fire threat, to identify and mitigate hazards in the town site, to restore local police, EMS, and 911 dispatch services, and restore critical services like healthcare, utilities, and of course, bring back grocery stores, gas stations, banks, and pharmacies. I'd like to tell you today that emergency services such as EMS, fire, police, and 911 dispatch have now been restored. Work is progressing to get other critical services like electricity, water, gas, telecommunication, and healthcare services back up and running. And work is also ongoing to identify and remove downed trees and other debris in and around the town site to prepare for reentry. Residents should be aware that the municipality has posted a reentry progress tracker on their website, which provides an overview of all the work that is being done before people can return home. It's a standard for this kind of work to take time, and we appreciate the patience of everyone who has been displaced. Residents should take note that the bus tours of the Jasper town site are ongoing, and over the last 4 days, more than 130 residents have toured the town. There were 2 bus tours scheduled for today. One departed Belmont and one from Hinton. We had 2 bus tours yesterday. One left Hinton and another tour for Jasper residents who have been evacuated to Calgary. We're also in the process of scheduling other tours. As we understand, these tours are a critical component of healing and, of course, the recovery process. Please note that Jasper residents can still register for tours online at alberta.ca/emergency or by calling 310-4455. And we will make sure that all Jasper residents affected by the fires have a chance to tour the community should they wish to do so. I'd like to also share some good news from today that Highway 16 has reopened to all traffic between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. The incident management team in Jasper will keep it open during these hours on a daily basis, depending on local conditions. It's also important for drivers to keep in mind that there will be no stopping or exiting off of Highway 16. This means that there will be no washroom breaks or refueling, so everyone should make sure that they have a full tank of gas before entering the park. Apart from the situation in Jasper, an evacuation alert remains in effect for parts of Saddle Hills County due to a wildfire burning south of Highway 49 in the Gordondale area. I'd like to inform Albertans that there is no immediate threat to any structures, but residents and visitors in the area should still be prepared to evacuate if the situation does change. For updates, please visit saddlehills.ab.ca. Also east of High Level and Fort Vermilion, the Little Red River Cree Nation continues to welcome everyone home after evacuation in late July. The nation is anticipating most residents will be home by tonight, but some residents with mobility or health issues will need a few more days. The evacuation order was lifted on August 5th, and it has taken some time for everyone to return as people evacuated to various communities across northern Alberta. The nation has been reaching out to all of its members to coordinate transport and everyone as needed. In closing, I'd like to say that we continue to see positive developments in many parts of the province, but it's still possible for new evacuation alerts to happen without much warning. So we encourage all Albertans to think ahead and make sure the use of the information that we have at alberta.ca/be prepared. And thank you. And I would like to now pass my remarks over to Minister Loewen to say a few words. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Minister Ellis. Good afternoon, and thanks for being here for our latest wildfire update. Yesterday, Alberta Wildfire crews were able to establish a perimeter around 2 out-of-control wildfires in the Kiska complex near Rocky Mountain House and Nordegg. These wildfires are now classified as being held, which has allowed the province to reopen a number of provincial parks and recreation areas that were closed due to wildfire activity. I know many Albertans who have been eager to recreate in the area will be happy to hear this news, and we're grateful to the weather and the hard work of our firefighters for making it possible. There are still several large wildfires burning in the province. The wildfire danger remains high to very high in northern Alberta. With conditions like this, I understand it difficult to make plans for camping, day trips, or if you're like me, fishing trips. But I still want to encourage Albertans to make the most of this summer, as long as they do so responsibly. Get outdoors and enjoy our provincial parks, recreation areas, and public lands, but always make sure you're properly prepared. Check for fire bans, restrictions, and advisories ahead of time, and also look to see if there are any large wildfires near where you're planning to go. Both can be tracked in real time by downloading the Alberta Fire Bans and the Alberta Wildfire apps. And remember, Albertans must still take precautions when cooler temperatures and precipitation lead to lower fire danger in some areas of the province. Wildfires can happen at any time in the summer, and we want to make sure Albertans and visitors are safe. It's also important to remain vigilant so that we don't add additional human-caused wildfires to the active wildfires burning in the province right now. These preventable wildfires pull time and resources away from larger, more pressing wildfires elsewhere in Alberta. As a lifelong outdoorsman, I understand the urge to make the most of summer and get outdoors while you can. I'm here today to tell Albertans to make the most of this August, but to do so safely and responsibly. As we head into the weekend, there have been a few changes to fire bans throughout the province. There are now no active fire bans in the forest protection area. However, a fire restriction remains in place in the high-level forest area. Parts of the Grand Prairie area are under restriction, and a fire advisory is in effect in the Fort McMurray area. We're incredibly grateful to our firefighters and first responders who continue to work around the clock to suppress wildfires in the province and keep Albertans safe. Unfortunately, this week has been a stark reminder of the work these brave individuals do is incredibly dangerous. On Saturday, August 3rd, one of our heroic wildland firefighters was killed in the line of duty. In honor of Morgan Kitchen's sacrifice, flags will be flown at half-mast at all forestry and parks facilities. Nothing I can say will make his loss any easier to his family, community, or those who are with him on the front lines. But I hope those closest to him know he gave his life doing something he knew was important. I wish you peace in the days ahead and know that Alberta's government is here for you. Thank you.
There are currently 111 wildfires burning in the forest protection area of Alberta. Of those, 13 are classified as out of control, 35 are classified as being held, and 63 are under control. Since the beginning of August, there have only been 35 new wildfire starts, and over 2/3 of them have already been extinguished. Crews are focusing on the current wildfires burning in the province and responding to new starts. The southern parts of the province have benefited from much needed rain, which has lowered fire behavior and given us a chance to make progress on wildfires in that area. More rain is expected in the south over the weekend, particularly in the Rockies. As Minister said, as a result of the lowered fire danger in the south, the fire ban is now lifted for the Calgary, Rocky Mountain House, Edson, and Whitecourt forest areas. This means safe, controlled campfires are permitted, but it doesn't mean the risk is gone. If you are having a campfire, please do so safely, and always remember to fully extinguish your campfire when you're done. Soak the ashes, stir them, and soak them again until the fire is completely extinguished. Annually, 67% of wildfires are human-caused and completely preventable. We all have a role to play in wildfire prevention. Remember to visit albertafirebans.ca for the most up-to-date information before heading out this weekend. In the northern parts of the province, we are anticipating warmer, drier conditions. The fire danger is trending up, which means the potential for new wildfire starts and more intense fire behavior is present. Crews will be working hard on reinforcing containment lines for the potential of increased fire behavior. Resources are positioned where they will be most effective throughout the weekend. We continue to welcome assistance from outside of Alberta on our wildfire response, including the addition of almost 100 firefighters from Costa Rica last night. I know the nearly 1,900 Albertans who have been working on wildfires welcome the support from abroad. Now is a critical time to remain vigilant in the province's forested areas. If you see smoke or flame in the forest, please call 310 Fire to report it. Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa. We'll now take questions. Please note Joe Zatylny, Deputy Managing Director for the Alberta Emergency Management Agency, is also available. Reminder, there's one question and one follow-up allowed, and please state your name and media outlet before you begin your question. And we'll start with Tyson. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Tyson Floor with CTV Calgary. This is for Minister Ellis, and apologies, it is not on the topic of wildfires, but another public safety issue in the province of Alberta as we speak, with a day 4 of a major manhunt for 2 killers who killed a young father. He was a Rocky View County worker. I guess, first of all, have you been briefed by RCMP in regards to information coming out in a orderly and timely fashion when it comes to these 2 suspects that the RCMP have no idea when it comes to their descriptions?
Well, I mean, I've spoken to the Deputy Commissioner, Rob Hill of the RCMP. I mean, here's what I can tell you. First of all, I just want to say the condolences to the family and all those affected, those in Rocky View County. It's certainly extremely tragic what occurred. This is a random act of violence. That's what the RCMP have told me. There's not a lot of details to report in regards to what is going on. I can tell you that there certainly is an active manhunt, as you've already previously indicated. I would also say that the RCMP, of course, have put out a person of interest. If there is, anyone who has any information, to please inform the RCMP. I can also tell you that they've engaged all police services in Alberta, Calgary, Edmonton, other municipal police services in order to try to figure out the identity of the people that committed these person or persons who've committed these heinous crimes. So that's really the limited information that I have and the briefing that I've received at this time.
And then just to follow up in regards to a lot of people are on edge because they don't have descriptions of who they're supposed to look for. The RCMP have said to remain vigilant, especially out in rural Alberta where there isn't a police station within minutes from their homes. With these 2 individuals still on the run, what's your message to Albertans, especially in rural Alberta, that they could be some fearing for their safety?
Well, any random act of violence is absolutely concerning. So I can understand why the RCMP certainly put out that alert, because they obviously had concerns for the safety of Albertans, especially those that were within the area. What I can say is that if anyone sees anything suspicious, if anyone is indeed fearing for their safety in any way whatsoever, call 911, call the police.
Thanks, Minister. Michelle, over to you.
I think you mean Jonathan, right?
Nope, I meant
sorry.
Michelle. Michelle, we can't hear you. You're still on mute. All right, we'll go over to Jonathan and Michelle. We'll come back to you afterwards.
Oh, I think I got it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Michelle.
Okay. A question for either Ministers Ellis or Loewen. I was wondering about, sorry. Actually, could you go ahead to Jonathan and come back to me? I'm sorry. Jonathan actually, I think, is next.
Yep, we can do that. Jonathan, please go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry about that. The reason why I said that was because I'm on a colleague's Zoom account and sometimes it comes up as Michelle as her name. So my question is for Minister Ellis. So you spoke about in Jasper, fire, EMS, and dispatch being brought online. What were the toughest challenges with bringing those services back online?
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with some of the electricity. So obviously our electrical companies were having to bring some of those services online. We saw power poles that had gone down. I observed that myself. So obviously, Joe, our Alberta Emergency Management Agency, worked very collaboratively with the incident command team to make sure all the necessary resources were going up. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it had to do with debris that was down in the community and making sure that infrastructure was and work was getting completed to get everything up and going.
Okay, my follow-up pertains to the electrical and gas work that you spoke about, because you said that it's still in the process of being all set up again. What are the next steps to get electrical and gas online?
Well, I might get Joe to expand on this. I mean, obviously at a very high level. I mean, what's taking certainly the time with the gas is again, the people have had to go business to business and house to house, right? We have to make sure that each one of those businesses and those houses are safe and that we don't have any gas leaks. Joe, I don't know if there's anything you want to expand on that.
That's absolutely correct, Minister. And when we're talking about houses that have been completely gone, it may be a bit easier to address the electrical if there's overhead or whatnot. But when we're talking about gas lines, we're talking about underground and those challenges as well. And of course, water lines and those types of things in the heavily damaged area. Need to be everything needs to be pressure tested and leak tested, and then of course continue on with moving house to house, which is definitely a challenge. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. All right, Michelle, over to you.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for your patience with me today. This is a question for, I'm not sure either Minister Ellis or Minister Loewen would like to tackle this one. I am working on this. I know that Alberta has provided financial assistance for individuals in Jasper, as well as the Red Cross. And I'm wondering if there's been any conversations about financial aid for businesses, given that they're going to be facing a lot of unknowns in the near future.
Well, maybe I'll start to tackle that. The simple answer is yes. We of course engaged Minister Jones's office in Jobs, Economy, and Trade. There has been some initial discussions also what supports the Red Cross can do to help out businesses. I have been told that in the past, in some past incidents that have occurred, not just in Alberta, but the Red Cross has had an opportunity to help out businesses. Joe, is there anything you can add to that? I think
Yeah, I would just say that all levels of government and of course the municipality of Jasper are working together to support and look at what we can do during these challenging times.
Yeah, Michelle, if you don't mind, I could just add. I mean, like right now, obviously these bus tours are going on, and businesses like we're still trying to determine what level of supports folks are going to need based upon their each individual circumstance. So a lot of that stuff, the Incident Command Team and Alberta Emergency Management, again, working with Jobs, Economy, and Trade, are just trying to figure that out right now. There's no one, single solution is going to solve all the folks that are affected.
Okay, thank you for that. Is there any timeline for when you guys would like to roll something out to help people?
Well, I would say, first of all, we need to start, getting these. I mean, we've already started, but the business have to do their own assessment and then have to start getting back to us with what their needs are. So, again, it's still a little bit early. I mean, we've had some of those, I think has been identified as critical businesses that have gone in. They're starting to assess the situation. Many of them have brought in, I think, insurance companies as well to at least give a cursory idea as to what needs that they might have. And then, as these other businesses are coming in, they're going to report back to the Incident Command Team and kind of our recovery area to try to figure out what supports they need. But I'm sorry, I don't have an exact timeline other than it's very fluid.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Carly, over to you.
Hi there. My question would be for the ministers to begin with the firefighter who died doing his job. Is there any plans for the memorial fund to be used or to honor this person in some way?
Yes, absolutely. This young man will be, his family will be eligible for that memorial fund.
Do you have any details on how much and what's the process there?
Yeah, there's a fairly simple process to go through for them to apply for that, but it is $100,000.
And just if I may, on the fire situation for Melissa's story, what is if there's one fire in the province that you guys are watching the closest right now, what would that be heading into the weekend?
Well, we are going to see that elevated fire danger in the northern parts of the province. So we are definitely keeping an eye on the SEMA wildfire complex. We're also keeping a very close eye on the wildfire that's burning near Saddle Hills. So both of those could see elevated fire danger and fire behavior this weekend. So those are probably the two main priorities that we're focusing on right now.
All right, thanks, Melissa. That looks like all the questions we have for today. Please note there will be no media avails over the weekend unless something significant changes. However, we will continue to send out the media situation report daily. Thanks, everyone. Have a good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you.